All right, Commander, listen up. The world is on the brink of total war, and your battlefield is the entire globe. This is your official mission briefing. Our one and only goal today is to get you combat ready for your very first game of Risk Metal Gear Solid. So pay attention, because the fate of the world, it's in your hands. Now, to make sure you're not thrown into the deep end without learning to swim, this whole briefing is going to focus on the basic training mode. The field manual itself recommends this to get you familiar with the rules of engagement. Trust me, you want to build your strategy on a solid foundation before you tackle the really advanced stuff. So, here are your objectives for this briefing. We'll start with your assets, what you're fighting with. Then we'll cover deployment and setup. After that, we'll get into the turn-by-turn protocol, the nitty-gritty of combat, and finally, the most important part, what it actually takes to win. Let's get to it. Okay, first up, asset familiarization. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? A commander who doesn't know their tools of war is a commander who's going to lose. So before you even think about deploying, you need to understand every single asset at your disposal. This right here is your theater of operations, the world, split up into 42 territories and grouped into 6 major zones. Now, here's the thing you have to remember. If you can control all the territories in a single zone, you get a massive reinforcement bonus. Securing these zones is absolutely critical. And then there's this beast. What makes this version of Risk so unique is the Outer Haven. It's a mobile, heavily armed battleship that is literally its own territory. Controlling it gives you this powerful, movable base that can just completely shift the tide of the war. On the ground, you've got 2 types of units. You have your standard PMC soldiers, your bread and butter. Each one is 1 army. But the real heavy hitters, the Gecko. These unmanned weapons are absolute monsters, and each one counts as 3 armies. When you need to punch a hole in a defense, these are the units you send in. You know, intel is power, and in this game, that power comes from cards. You're going to be dealing with 3 main types. Territory cards help you get reinforcements. Boss cards give you unique leaders with some pretty awesome abilities. And Drebin shop cards, well, they're your wild cards, letting you pull off game-changing moves that can give you a serious edge. So how do you get all this great gear? With Drebin points, or DP. This is the currency of the new war economy. You'll earn it every turn, and you'll spend it on those powerful cards from Drebin's shop, or to hire some of those legendary bosses to lead your armies. All right, so you know your assets. Now, let's talk deployment. It's time to get your forces onto the map and get ready for the fight. Setting up for basic training follows 5 clear steps. The rulebook has specific charts for how many people are playing, but the order is always the same. First, we put our initial units down. Then, we set up the cities and our own headquarters. Next, and this is important, we put the strategic objectives on the board. After that, we roll to see where the Outer Haven docks, and finally, everyone gets to pick their faction and deploy their first boss. And I just want to pause on placing these objectives. This is a crucial part of setup. You'll place 4 minor and 4 major objectives out there. These aren't just little markers. They are literally your paths to victory. You're going to want to keep your eyes on these at all times. Okay, the board is set. The pieces are in motion. Now we get to the rhythm of war itself. Let's break down exactly what you're going to do on your turn, because mastering this sequence is key to executing your strategy. Every single turn has 6 phases, and you have to do them in this exact order. You'll start by recruiting reinforcements and collecting your cash. Then you get to go shopping at Drebin's. Next, you manage your hired bosses. Phase 4 is the main event. You attack your enemies. After the fighting's done, you check to see if you've captured an objective. And finally, you get to maneuver your forces one last time and draw a new card. It's that simple. And deadly. So how do you build up that army? Well, your reinforcement count at the start of your turn is basically the sum of the territories and cities you control. But the real game changer, like I said, is controlling a whole zone. That gets you a huge bonus number of troops. Holding ground directly translates into military strength. That second phase, visiting Drebin's shop, is where you can get a real tactical advantage. Spending your Drebin points on powerful action and tactical cards can give you everything from a surprise attack to a massive defensive boost. These are the kinds of things that can completely change the course of a battle. Okay, this is where the mission goes kinetic. All the strategy, all the preparation, it all leads to this moment. So let's dive into the specific rules of engagement. So, the big question, right? You've moved your armies, you're ready to invade. How does the fight actually go down? Well, it all comes down to the roll of the dice.
At its core, combat is super straightforward. Both the attacker and the defender roll some dice. Then you just compare the single highest die from each side. The higher number wins, and the loser has to remove one army from the board. Simple as that.
Here's the full sequence. You declare your attack, and you commit up to 3 of your armies. The defender then commits up to 2 of theirs. You both roll. You compare the highest dice, and the loser takes off a unit. Then, and this is key, if both of you rolled at least 2 dice, you also compare the second highest dice, and the loser of that comparison removes another unit. 1 roll, 2 potential casualties. And these are your tools of combat. Attackers use the red 6-sided dice, defenders use the black ones. But you see that 8-sided die? If you have a boss leading your forces in that battle, you get to substitute one of your regular dice for that more powerful D8. And let me tell you, it can make a huge difference in an important fight. So, after all the battles and all the maneuvering, how do you actually win this thing? That's the crucial point, right? Let's look at the final objective, the ultimate condition for victory. In the basic training mode, victory is really clear and direct. You do not have to conquer the entire world. To win, you just have to be the first player to complete any 3 objectives. If you do that, and you still control your own headquarters at the end of your turn, you win. That's it. And what do these objectives look like? Well, they vary a lot. A minor one might be something like control all of North America. A major objective might be to control 18 territories anywhere on the map, or even to eliminate 2 of your rivals' headquarters. You get to choose which ones you want to go after. And that's it, Commander. Your briefing is complete. You have the intel, you know the protocol, now you just have to execute. With the world descending into chaos, the only question left is, which objective will you target first? Good luck out there.